This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Peninsula Home Care.
Newton's first law of motion teaches us that a body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted on by an outside force.
And if you have ever had an injury that requires surgery, you probably know all about the desire to get that body back in motion. That was definitely the case for Joanne Guilfoil of Selbyville. After a lifetime of being active, she was sidelined by a hip injury that required hip replacement surgery. The good news is most of her recovery was done in the comfort of her own home thanks to Peninsula Home Care. It's a fond farewell between Joanne Guilfoil and Peninsula Home Care physical therapist Peter Pasquale.
I'll have those little electrode things. I don't know what you call them.
Joanne recently had a hip replacement surgery.
When I came home, I couldn't pull myself up. I couldn't let myself down. And I couldn't go very far.
Which was an issue since Joanne is used to being active.
And patience is not one of my virtues.
You have to do 10.
But that didn't stop her from sticking with the program.
You tell her one time and then the next time you come back and she'll tell you that she's been doing this and that, and she's very compliant.
Now, lately, I'm on the treadmill for a while.
Joanne says the one-on-one attention made all the difference.
Because he doesn't leave. The other places they say, do this, and they walk away. And I think, okay, I'll see you, sure I will. But he was just right there. And, if I didn't do it right, would correct me, would push me a little bit farther.
A push that Joanne credits for her recovery.
He had me do things that, when you're by yourself and left alone, you don't do. But each time I could do more, I could go farther.
Home health is a one-on-one thing. Spend time with them and we can focus. And out of that, we can get more out of the person. And they feel comfortable there in their own home.
Joanne says the hardest part of the injury was relying on a walker to get around her house.
I've banged into everything in this house with that thing. And then one day I thought, it's only a few feet between each object. After a while, let's see if I can make it from here to there. And then one day I'm making the bed or doing something. And I went, where's the walker? And I froze. I couldn't remember where it was. I went, isn't that nice?
Although Joanne has completed her physical therapy with Peninsula Home Care, she realizes she can't resume the activity level she had before the surgery.
A couple weeks ago, we were raking leaves, and we had a friend from high school come, and I'm thinking, oh, and it's gorgeous weather. And I was out there probably 2 hours longer than I should have been, and I paid for it the next day. So I learned my lesson. I can do things, but I can't do them as long, and I can't do them as hard. And I have to be very careful of twisting. Pull back, and then she'll put something under my knees and have to raise them up.
With the work between Peter and Joanne done, Peter will move on to his other patients, and Joanne will continue to work in another program.
There are times that they really have to go because they're doing really good. And we have other programs wherein continuation of therapy is needed. So I put her in a maintenance program, and it makes us feel better that she has a continuation so she doesn't regress.
And it sounds like Joanne has no plans to do anything that might put her back to square one.
The other warning that I got when I was at the hospital, and they were very well intended, and I'm glad I heard it, they said, we don't want to see you anymore. In other words, don't do something stupid and have to come back. And I thought, I hear you.
And I can tell you, Joanne loves to get out and tend to her chickens, but she knows she has to be careful and keeps Peter's instructions top of mind. Like she said, you got to be really careful. You can go forward, but you got to watch those twists. And she jokingly said she probably never is going to do the twist again. But that's okay.
But that's okay.
Yeah.